It's not always easy to come up with ways to start a conversation, especially when you're with unfamiliar people. If you take the appropriate approach, however, you can strike up a conversation with virtually anyone. You don't need to be a social butterfly to have exciting exchanges, as there are simple ways to start a dialogue and start chatting about a variety of topics. You don't need to be a social butterfly to have exciting exchanges, as there are simple ways to start a dialogue and start chatting about a variety of topics and have exciting exchanges. Now that we've established that, let's talk about some ways to start a conversation that you can implement right away. Number 1. A location. This is the most straightforward way to start a conversation. You are able to participate to the extent that you feel comfortable, and doing so is an effective way to get to know new people. Find something to talk about that is pertinent to your immediate environment, and that is all that is required of you. To use this method as an icebreaker, all you have to do is make a remark about your current location, or ask the other person what brought them here. For instance, you could say something along the lines of, "This location has a lot of charm. Have you been here before?" If it's an event or a gathering, you can also use this strategy as an excuse to introduce yourself by asking people how they know the host. Number 2. Consumables. The topic of food is also an effective way to start a conversation. It is a topic that can be used for any interaction, whether you are meeting someone new or going to a new place together, and it is one that everyone can certainly relate to. For instance, if you're at a food festival or a restaurant, you might find certain things, such as, "It seems to be working. What are you putting in your mouth?" Or, "What dish would you recommend I try?" are simple ways to start a conversation. When you visit a new location, you should inquire about the regional cuisine to find out what kinds of foods are popular there and where you can purchase them. When you and another person have the same tastes in food, you immediately have something in common with each other, and from there, you can talk about your favorite foods, restaurants, or even your failed attempts at cooking. Number 3. Current events. You can also start a conversation by talking about things that are happening in the world right now. This is a good choice because it is simple to find something to talk to, and it is likely that you and the other person will share an opinion on at least some of the issues that are brought up during the conversation. You can always bring up the weather, but if you want to branch out, discussing the most recent news stories or upcoming events in your area will help you connect on a more personal level with the other person. Effective communication starters include questions such as, "Have you heard about the new exhibit at the museum?" Or, "Have you been to the new beach they just opened?" They have the potential to lead to some interesting conversations, which will help you feel less awkward and more confident when you are in social settings. Number 4. Holidays and other forms of travel. Another simple way to jump into a conversation is to discuss trips and vacations that you've taken in the past. If you know someone who has recently returned from a trip, make sure to ask them about it. It's possible that the location is one that you've always fantasized about visiting, and if it is, you will have the opportunity to listen to some fascinating tales about the traveler's experiences there. You can also discuss the upcoming trips that you have planned. For instance, you can inquire, "Have you given any thought to what you might do this summer?" Or, "What are some of the places on your travel itinerary?" It makes for a lively and interesting topic of discussion. You can form a bond over shared travel experiences or trade travel suggestions and advice. Number 5. Hobbies. Sharing common interests is a fun and productive way to get to know someone. Finding out what someone likes to do in their spare time can tell you a lot about who they are as a person, and most people enjoy talking about things they enjoy doing the most in their spare time. You might even find that the two of you have some interests in common, which could lead to additional opportunities for conversation in the future, or even become the foundation for a friendship. For instance, if you just met somebody and discovered that you both have a passion for photography, you might be able to form a connection with them by talking about your experiences with taking pictures or by discussing the equipment that you use. Even if you don't share any interests, it doesn't hurt to ask questions like, "Are you a part of any clubs?" or "What inspired you to get into this?" Even if you don't have anything in common with the other person, this is a simple and effective way to start up a conversation. Number 6. Media. Talking about music, movies, and television is something that a lot of people enjoy doing. Because there are so many different genres, it is not hard to find something that everyone can relate to. You could inquire about the other person's preferred television programs, or ask them if they've seen any recent movies that were worth seeing. You might also discuss a band or an artist that the two of you enjoy listening to together if you do. When trying to keep a conversation going, it is a good idea to talk about things like your preferred albums or bands. When you are meeting someone for the first time, you could even use the physical resemblance that they have to a celebrity as a conversation starter. Number 7. Home. It's not hard to strike up a conversation with someone if you bring up the concept that home is where the heart is. You can talk about the region, city, or even the neighborhood in which they were raised. If you hear someone speaking with an accent or dialect, you can inquire about their place of origin or inquire about the differences between their current city and their hometown. It is possible that the amount of information you receive in return will surprise you. The majority of people have strong feelings about their hometowns, regardless of whether or not these feelings are positive or negative, and it gives you something new to talk about, as well as a fresh perspective on each other's countries and some ideas about what it is that makes those countries unique and interesting destinations worth visiting. Number 8. Compliments. People respond positively to compliments because they make them feel good about themselves. For this very reason, compliments can be the ideal way to break the ice. Making a remark about someone's appearance or attire is a great way to show appreciation for that person. It might be something as simple as their hairstyle or elaborate as a piece of jewelry or a watch. Or it's possible that the individual is distinguished by something else about them. Perhaps it is the sound of their laugh or shade of their eyes. The focus should also be placed on these insignificant aspects of individuals. One more possibility is to compliment the work that someone else has done. If they're doing something that demonstrates their abilities or skills, then you should give them some credit for it. Being genuine while avoiding going too far is the most important thing to keep in mind here. Limit yourself to no more than 2 compliments that are thoughtfully placed. Number 9. Technology. When it comes to starting a conversation with a complete stranger, such as the person sitting next to you on an airplane or a lengthy train ride, inquiring about their technology is an additional fantastic way to do so in a relaxed setting. It's also a good way to find out more about the interests and personality of the person you're talking to. If they use a different brand of smartphone or tablet than you do, you can inquire about their experiences with the device or the operating system they use by asking them about their own. You could also inquire as to whether or not they have any suggestions for dependable electronic devices or mobile applications. Number 10. Animals. Animals can be goofy, funny, and cute. So talking about them can be a great way to start a conversation because there aren't very many people who don't like animals. A person's preferences and the kinds of animals they like to spend time with and the reasons behind those preferences are both excellent ways to gain insight into the person's personality. If a person has a pet of their own, you can bet they will be more than happy to tell you some stories about their furry friend. And even if they don't have a dog or a cat of their own, they probably won't mind having a lighthearted conversation about the dog or cat they had when they were younger who was responsible for some memorable experiences. What do you think? Are you ready to get some conversation started? Tell us in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and tell your friends about it so we can keep making them. To be notified when we upload a new video, click the notification bell and remember to press the subscribe button for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.